Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Lamar, and today we're going to be talking about how do we validate the sales data that we're finding in our Jungle Scout or similar sales data scraping application that we might be using. Why this is essentially important is, well, quite obviously we want to, like I said, validate the data that these data scrapers are giving us, because right now Jungle Scout, they're just giving good estimates on that sales data, and the technique that I'm going to be explaining to you today is really going to allow you to get a much more granular level on that and just kind of confirm what you're seeing. In addition to that, it's really important that you understand the niche that you're going into, right? I find it super useful to just review this data, especially especially in products that I'm seriously considering, or categories that I'm seriously considering to break in. I'm just trying to learn as much about the market as possible, and the more data that you kind of have on that market, the better understanding and the better kind of ultimate decision that you're going to make on whether you're entering this category or not. All right, so without further ado, I'm just going to jump in it and kind of explain to you guys the process and the technique that I've developed here. And it's considered the 999 trick. And there's a couple of little things that I think, or I hope, that are useful to you. And if you guys are finding use in these videos, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Just helps me to encourage me to keep making these videos and producing content for you guys. All right. So right here on the screen, I've kind of set up a template. The product that we're going to be tracking today is a plastic champagne flute. And this is just a category that I found. It's a product that I was interested in going into. I never ended up doing it, so I'm kind of just using it as an example in today's quick little lesson here. But as you can see, the template here is set up on the computer. The first piece of important data here is the product URL. And that's just going to be the URL that links to the product Amazon page. The next is if there's a variation. So if there's a variation on the product detail page, we want to just make note of that so we're tracking the correct product. The next is the rank, or the sales rank, and we'll get that from Jungle Scout, which I'm going to detail in a second here. Next is who's the seller is, the quantity that seller has on hand, and the sales day. And this is, we're going to determine this by the quantity, and then the monthly sales estimation. And we're also going to pull this piece of data from Jungle Scout. All right, so here we go. Let's jump in. So I would take the main keyword of the product that I'm going to be tracking. Okay, and I'm going to come over here to Amazon, and I'm going to throw that main keyword up into the search bar, and I'm going to search. Okay, it's going to pull up all of the products here that are related, or most likely purchased with this main keyword. I'm going to skip over the sponsored ads here, because those are ads that other sellers are promoting, and we're just really interested here in the organic listings, because that's really ultimately what or where we want to place our product, right? We're assuming, or we're looking at this market and trying to decide if it's a market that we want to enter into, and we want to be organically ranked here. So let's assume that I've plugged in the keyword here, and now what I'm going to do is just pull up all of the URLs, or the product detail pages here. And I'm probably going to grab 10 of them, right? So I get 10 new tabs opened up across here, and I'm just going to start taking the URL. Now you don't need the full URL, but you can grab it if you want. So I'm just going to take the root URL, which is right there, and I'm going to start pasting that into the spreadsheet that I created. All right, and I just keep doing that for all of the products that I wanted to track. In the event that you want to track a variation, so this first product right here, this tossware, as you can see on the detail page here, they've got two variations. They've got a 6 ounce and a 9 ounce, and then a set of 48 and a set of 12. The 6 ounce isn't available, so I'm sorry, it is available for the 48 set, but not for the 9. So let's just say that you wanted to track both variations. What you would do is come back over to your spreadsheet here and just say that this is our 12 pack and then this is our 48 pack. Right. Next, what you're going to do is grab the rank for this product. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You can use our Jungle Scout application. So on this detail page, you can just fire up the Jungle Scout. And you know, we can look at it's going to be listed first here, and we're going to take the rank, which is 267. And we'll just come back over here and plug in 267. We want to capture the seller. So the seller, we're going to locate right, well, it's actually, this one's actually shipped by Amazon. So you'd find the seller right down here. It says ships from and sold by Amazon.com. So this product's sold by Amazon.com, but they're not all going to be sold by Amazon. So we're just going to throw that in there. Okay. And then we're going to get the quantity, right? So the quantity is, the way that you get the quantity is by selecting the variation. You're going to add this to cart. You're going to go to the cart. So I've already got this one in the cart here. And then you're going to change the quantity right here to +10 and then go 999, right? And this is where the term comes, the 999 trick, is because we're just changing the quantity to 999. In this case, so take a look at the subtotal over here, all 999 units were added to your cart. So in this case, we would just come back over here and write 999. Okay. Now we need to get the US monthly sales estimate. So come back to the detail page, grab that fire up the Jungle Scout. And they're going to give us an estimated sales. So we'll just copy that and throw it into the spreadsheet. Okay. So essentially you're going to do that for each of the products that we're trying to track, right? So I come to this listing, repeat the same process. Come over to this listing, so this page will load, and repeat the same process, right? And we just keep doing this to all of the different products that we're interested in tracking. All right. So let's assume then that I have already done this. Okay, so I just want you guys to pay attention right in this section. Okay, I've gone through and I've captured each of the URLs for all the products that I want to track. I've put in the variation of the specific variation on that product that I want to track. I've captured the rank, who the seller is, the quantity on hand, right? And I did that by just simply adding the product to the cart and then changing that quantity to 999 and seeing what kicks back. Okay, and then I've captured the US monthly sales, and I throw this into the spreadsheet and we start to fill out this data. The important thing here to do is we want to make sure that we're doing this every single day at the exact same time every single day for 7 to 10 days. Okay, this is going to give us a great idea of that sales volume in that market. Is the market consistent? Is like every single day, what kind of units are we selling? And what would be a possible outcome if we were to launch a product in the same market? All right, so we have day 1 captured, and let's pretend that we also did a day 2. So I came back the following day and repeated the same process and got the sales data. So what I'm going to do here for day number 1, since it's the first day that I'm tracking, I don't have any historical data. What I'm going to do is take the US monthly sales, estimated US monthly sales, and divide this by 30 because there's 30 days in each month. Okay, and I get 135. I'm going to change this color to yellow because it's an estimate, right? Jungle Scout has provided us the sales estimates for that month, and now we're looking at the sales data for that particular day, and it's an estimate, so I'm going to make it yellow. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going down, and I'm just going to apply this formula all the way down, and now we have the sales estimations per day and per month. Okay, pretty cool, right? So let's pretend that we have day 1 completed, and now we're working on day 2, right? So day 2, in the case of 999, we are just going to apply the same formula that we did on day 1, which was this estimated sales per day divided by 30. Okay. In this instance, we're just comparing the different data here. We're looking at the seller, and what we're essentially trying to do is see what kind of quantity do they have on day 1, and then subtract it from the remaining quality on day number 2, right? So jumping from 87 to 7 is a pretty large jump, and it doesn't kind of fit in with the estimated monthly sales. So I'm probably just going to assume that there's like another seller on this listing, and that the data got a little bit screwed up. So I'm also going to use the estimation here. Here we get another 999. So I'm going to put in an estimated 20 units. Okay, here is where it looks like we're getting some real sales data, right? So we were able to determine when I punched in 999 on day number 1, I got a return of 38 units that seller had in stock. When I did it on day 2, he only had 26. So this is going to be 12. It means that through that day, or over a 1-day period, he sold 12 units. Okay. When we're looking at this particular product right here, one thing to keep in mind is that the seller on this day differs from the seller on this day, and the quantity also differs. So in this case, we're not going to be able to do a simple subtraction. We're also going to have to take the estimate. So we're just going to paste in the sales estimate off the month. Okay, here, seller is exactly the same. They went from 106 on day 1 to 91. So that's a 15. And we're going to make that green, right? Because it's a confirmed sales data. Here we get another return of 999. So we're going to use the estimation. Here, the seller has changed day over day, so we have to use the estimation. Here, in this case, the seller is exactly the same. However, their quantity has increased, right? So that doesn't make too much sense because we know that they're selling products. So why is their quantity going up over as days go on? There's a couple reasons for this. Essentially, Amazon could be shifting inventory around throughout their fulfillment centers, which fluctuates the amount of inventory that particular seller has on hand. Or the other reason or possible cause could be that this seller is sending more inventory into Amazon and therefore increasing their inventory on hand. In any ways, it doesn't really help us for the tracking, so we're just going to have to use the estimation here anyway. Here again, for this product, so we do have a decrease in quantity. It is the same seller, so they are a 9. So they sold 9 units over this day. Likewise for this, looks like 19. And that's also going to be confirmed green. Okay, and same thing here, confirmed 20. Great. Okay, so now we've filled out 2 days, and you can start to see the yellow means estimation, the green is like a confirmed, that's how many units that sold of that product per day or over the 1 day period. So we're going to continue to do this out for 7 to 10 days. And this is what the final result would kind of look like. Okay, so it's day number 1 are all estimates. Day number 2 starts to become like a little mix of estimates and real data that we were able to account for because of the quantity. And then each day we continue to repeat that same process, right? And what this is what it's going to allow us to understand is we're essentially taking a larger snapshot of this niche market to determine if we want to really launch a product in this market. Okay, so we can confidently say now, after tracking this product for 7 days here, I did, that every day their sales on average is between 300 and maybe like 250. And if we multiply that times 30, because this is the sales per day that's going through the category, it would come out to be like 9,000, let's say, which is like pretty spot on. Well, in this case, it's spot on because we pulled those numbers from the estimate. But if we just keep looking out here, it's pretty accurate in the sense of what is actually being sold and what the US monthly sales estimation is from Jungle Scout. And we're just gaining, the fact that we're doing this over a 7-day period just allows us to gain a little bit more confidence in the market and kind of like better understand what's really happening here. So that is essentially the process of how you do the 999 trick. And if you guys have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer them. Please leave a comment in the description below or in the comments below. And if you guys found value in this video, please subscribe, please turn on the notifications, and I'll keep making videos for you guys. Thanks. Peace.